And with this Alabama ruling drawing national attention, clearly, the person who's behind that decision, Alabama Chief Justice Tom Parker, is also coming under scrutiny tonight. People are paying close attention to what he has been saying, not just about this, but also this interview that he did just in the last week, where Justice Parker said that he was a believer of the Seven Mountain Mandate. It's this popular movement urging Christians to completely conquer the, quote, seven mountains of American life, including education, media, and the U.S. government. Listen to him talk about it for yourself.
God created government. And the fact that we have let it go into the possession of others is heartbreaking for those of us who understand, and we know it is for him. And that's why he is calling and equipping people to step back into these mountains right now. I'm very aware that he is equipping me with something for the specific situation that I'm facing.
There you go.
I don't have to struggle trying to find my way through it.
True to form, for those who are familiar with his career, Chief Justice Parker did not shy away from invoking his faith in this controversial decision. At one point in the ruling, he wrote that human life cannot be wrongfully destroyed without incurring the wrath of a holy God. I should note that he was an aide and ally of the fellow Christian theocrat and former Alabama Supreme Court Chief Justice Roy Moore. Of course, the man who beat Roy Moore in that Alabama special election not too long ago for the U.S. Senate is also here to weigh in on this tonight. Former Alabama Senator Doug Jones. And Senator, it's great to have you because, obviously what we can hear and read in this is that he wasn't just relying on the Constitution and on legal precedent to explain this decision. He's citing religious doctrine in the book of Genesis. I wonder, where is the line drawn between law and theocracy?
Well, Caitlin, obviously with Chief Justice Parker, there is no line. I was listening to Governor Haley saying Alabama ought to just get back to the law. Well, hell, Parker doesn't worry about the law. All he worries about is his Christian philosophy. And that's nothing new, by the way, for those people who are shocked at this across the country. This has been his mantra for years. He has been in public service for a long time. As you said, he's an ally of Judge Roy Moore. And so this is nothing new. And it's really, what's really sad about this, Caitlin, is not just all of the thousands of families that might be affected by this, that ultimately could be affected across the country. But our business community is just not going to step up again. They didn't step up on the abortion bill. They didn't step up on the immigration bill. They're too afraid to speak out. Our UAB health system has got one of the finest health systems in the country, particularly their pediatrics and OBGYN. Who the hell's going to want to come to Alabama after this kind of ruling? How are they going to attract doctors? So this goes way beyond just even the individual families that are going to be affected and the women of the state. It goes to businesses and who we are as a state.
Yeah, I mean, we've already seen some of them saying, they're hesitant to either move to Alabama or questions about leaving. I want to get your take on what we heard from the Alabama Senator Tommy Tuberville, who was asked directly about this ruling and gave, to me, a bit of a confusing answer earlier. This is what he told reporters.
Do you have a reaction to the Alabama Supreme Court ruling on the fact that embryos are children?
Yeah, I was all for it. We need to have more kids. We need to have an opportunity to do that. And I thought this was the right thing to do. But
IVF is used to have more children. And right now, IVF services are paused at some of the clinics in Alabama. Aren't you concerned that this could impact people who are trying to have kids?
Well, that's for another conversation. People need to have that. We need more kids. We need the people to have the opportunity to have kids.
Right now in Alabama who no longer have access to IVF, or who will not, as a result of this. What do you say to them?
Well, that's a hard one. It really is. It's really hard. Because again, you want people to have that opportunity. And that's what I was telling her. We need more kids.
With all due respect, what?
Caitlin, look, he had no idea what that reporter was asking. None. That answer was so similar. It's like deja vu all over again for folks around here. He had an almost identical answer in 2020 when he was running for the Senate when asked if he would support an extension of the Voting Rights Act. Had no idea what it was and stammered around and stuttered around and was incoherent when trying to answer. He had no idea what that reporter was talking about. He may have thought it was intravenous or